Welcome back to Hoops Lounge. We're the show that's been to just as many All-Star games as Mike Conley. My name is Mark Griffin, a.k.a. Montreal Mark. I'm joined by my partner in crime, Phil Barlow, Sporting Phil, and also Cavs Canada, Justin Rowan. We're going to talk this week in the NBA. Got to start with my man, Mike Conley, who's the king of our Rodney Dangerfield no respect team. He is a free agent, unrestricted free agent for the first time in his life, prime of his career at 28. Justin, he said everything is on the table. What does that mean?
It means he's going to weigh his options. He's probably going to explore free agency to some extent. I think a lot of guys like to go through kind of the recruiting process, but at the end of the day, I don't see Mike Conley leaving Memphis. I think he likes playing with Marc Gasol too much. He's made comments kind of indicating that as well, that it would take a lot for him to leave Mark. And at the same time, as much as he's in the prime of his career, his stats are a fair bit down this season. I think Memphis is going to give him a bit of a loyalty contract there, and they'll be able to retain him. Although I'm sure with a kind of weak free agent pool, he's going to be one of the top targets for a lot of teams out there.
Phil, some people are saying the Knicks is a good potential target for him. What do you think?
Well, I think in terms of fit, I mean, it absolutely makes sense. They need a point guard who can run the show and play some defense. He's proven throughout his career he's been an excellent leader. But again, does he want to go there? It's not a guarantee. Are the Knicks better than the Grizzlies? I think that's one of the questions. And the East is improving, and the West seems to be deteriorating. So are his chances at a title actually better or worse doing that? Yes, he gets to join forces with a young Kristaps Porzingis and a team that's really elevated. But I think I agree with Justin. I don't think he does, just because I think he doesn't necessarily think the grass is green on the other side. But I do think it is a good fit.
Memphis is around 5th in the West right now, which is surprising a few people. Do you think they're going to maintain that going into the playoffs? Either one of you.
I think so. I think they're a really well-rounded team. They play defense. Everybody's so in love with spacing these days, and they think it can only be created with a three-point shot. I'm sure Memphis would like to have more three-point shooters, especially on the wing, but they're too big. So they haven't had issues with spacing because they use them in the pick and roll, which pulls one out of the paint so frequently. I just don't think the West is really deep enough to really push them down. I don't see them falling lower than 6th, just because well-coached team, they play defense, they're consistent, you know what you're getting out of Memphis. So I don't see them falling. And just to quickly add destinations, I know, Phil, you'll like this one, but I think Milwaukee would be an interesting consideration for
fantastic buck. Not to say Michael Carter-Williams is the second coming of Jason Kidd, but I think Mike Conley would do a bit better job.
Yeah.
And one last question. Will Mike Conley ever make an All-Star game?
Not if he stays in the West.
Yeah, I'm going to say no, because I don't see the situation. Like, there's so many good point guards out there, and he hasn't done it yet. Mm-hmm. You know, there's a lot of other these point guards who are coming up that are going to deserve spots as well. I mean, it's tough, and they book them as guards, right? And so there's 2 guards that are coming up, and so he's battling against guys like Klay Thompson as guards.
And Andrew Wiggins, James Harden.
Exactly. So, I mean, it's kind of like the same argument. If there was a center and a point guard position with All-Star, I can't even convince myself of that. Honestly, there's just too many good point guards.
Yeah. Steph Curry and Russell Westbrook are going to be around for a long time.
Yeah.
Same problems out in the East. You got John Wall, Kyrie Irving. If you were to go over,
as long as Conley is going to be good, you got Chris Paul in the West as well too, right?
Exactly.
So yeah. I think if he would have done it, he would have done it already. That's my short answer.
Mm-hmm.